Got to the end, didn't even care. Enter Warren. It's consumed my every thought. The timelines are like linked. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Yvette and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now I normally forget to do an intro, so I'm trying some new stuff here. So I'm currently reading Onyx Storm and Next of Kin. That's what you'll see during this video. Now whether I'll finish them, I don't know. But the first book that I finished this year was Daisy Haites. So I guess let's talk about it a bit more. In terms of a review for Daisy Haites, I actually rated this 5 stars. Maybe it should be a 4, but I got through this book quite easily. And like, without spoiling it, it's a bit more of a kind of London Mafia, I guess you could say, kind of style of book. So yeah, I'll put a bit of the blurb up for you guys to see. But basically her brother Julian is in the gang ward kind of thing of London. Unfortunately they lost their parents when they were younger and it explains and goes through that. But she's in love with Christian. But of course with it being in the Magnolia Parks universe, there's other dramas that are going on within the book. But honestly, I really liked it. I liked the contrast between this and Magnolia Parks though, even though they are interlinked, and the scenes from Magnolia Parks where they mention Daisy Haites are mentioned in this book, but obviously from Daisy's perspective. Yeah, it's really interesting. I really like how they coincide at the minute. The timelines are like linked. The drama with boys and everything like that is still in this as well as when it was in Magnolia Parks. And as you can see from the front, like guns are like a big part of this book. But yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed this. I mean, I might be biased because Magnolia Parks was my favourite read of last year and it took me, I think I read it on my birthday in like November. I enjoyed this book a lot and I'm happy that I chose this as my first book of 2025. The only thing that was a bit frustrating is the use of footnotes in this book. Let me see if I can like find a page with it in. There's like footnotes that you have to try and read as well, so then it's a pain in the arse because you go back up to the number and like I was like losing my place between the footnotes. So it's only on Daisy's chapters, which isn't too bad, but I mean she's the main like girl in the book. So yeah, like as you can see the numbers, you have to like jump up and like it just, and to be honest the footnotes didn't actually explain that much more. They did it to begin with, so in the like first few chapters it did, but then like afterwards it was just kind of like little jabs and little notes like she was putting in. So that was one thing that was a bit annoying, but I got through it. Like that bit didn't change my rating. Obviously I'm filming this video after I've already read this book, which is annoying, and I will try and not do that again, as obviously within this video I am reading Onyx Storm as well as My Next Kin. So hopefully I can give kind of real-time reviews of it because I've basically forgot most of the stuff that was in this. However, yeah, I would recommend it. And I actually bought my friend the first book, Magnolia Parks, just as like an off gift because why not? Obviously I loved the book, so I want her to read it. So her next read actually on her list when she's finished what she's currently reading is Magnolia Parks. So fingers crossed she likes it because like I've recommended it and I feel really bad if she doesn't enjoy it. Sorry Alex if you don't like it. But yeah, I would recommend Daisy Haites. 5-star read from me. I can't wait to read the rest of the series. I'm not one of these people that can read a series all in one. I feel like that's too much. I don't know why. I like to kind of mix it up a bit, do like a palette cleanser and then come back to it. So obviously I've just said like I'm on Onyx Storm at the minute. So whether or not I'll read the next one after that, or I might do my spin the wheel thing again to help me choose a book. Probably a romance, as you know, I think I am a romance reader now rather than a fantasy reader. Don't kill me. So I've got one more fantasy book that I fancy reading this year. Akatar, I'm not going to carry on reading, I don't think at the minute. I might change my mind like later on in the year, but as it stands, I'm not carrying on with the series. Yeah, any any romance books. Obviously I'm gonna carry on with the Magnolia Parks universe. I know the third book in the Wild Eyes Wild Love series. It's green. That's coming out in March, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll read that as soon as it comes out. So Onyx Storm, let's get into it. I am currently on chapter 18, which is page like 153. So as you know, I read Iron Flame and didn't enjoy it. I hated the book. I think it took me months and months to actually get through it. So stupid me actually pre-ordered this. Could have got it cheaper in the works. Whatever, rookie mistake. Me and my friend did the same thing and ordered it from Waterstones instead of just waiting for the day of release, and it was in the works for £12.50, fuming. Anyway, Iron Flame. With Iron Flame, as I really didn't enjoy reading that and it took me months. And to be honest, it actually put me off fantasy books because I just felt like it was so slow and nothing happened the whole way through. So yeah, then I thought, great, I'll order Onyx Storm. Don't know what possessed me. Like I say, I'm currently on chapter 18 and so far nothing's happened. I've listened to Emmy Rassam's YouTube video on this and she did say that it kind of like kicks off, things start to happen more 37% of the way in. Now, I assume I'm not 37%. No, I don't look like I am. I might be coming up to it soon, but yeah, I'm not that impressed at the minute. I'm listening to it on Audible as well as reading it because that's a lot easier for me, especially if I'm working. I can listen to something in the background. And to be honest, like the last book I listened to, which was Daisy Haites, I actually really enjoyed that and I could picture it in my head, whereas this I'm just kind of like droning on listening to it. If I get to the end of the book, I have heard again from like Emmy Rassam's YouTube video on this, she did say that it really like ramps up at the end, and I've seen some, not spoilers, but I've seen reviews on it and people are saying like more stuff happens towards the end. So I guess, yeah, well, we can see what happens, but at the minute I'm not that impressed with it, and yeah, I don't really want to, I want a DNF, but I bought the book, so like I can't do that. Get to the end and rate it low, then I won't be reading the next two in the series because I feel like she just rushed them and pushed them out. I know some people like ride or die, like fans for it, but I'm not at the minute. And again, Fourth Wing was amazing. I loved Fourth Wing, and it was like one of my 5-star reads of last year, probably like everybody. But Iron Flame, yeah, no, terrible. Didn't even want to get to the end. Got to the end, didn't even care. I'll keep you updated on how this goes. I'm trying to film and read throughout while I'm actually like midway through a book, because that's something I do forget to do. So yeah, as it stands, I don't know what percentage it is, I'll put it on the screen, but I'm just about to start chapter 18, which is like page 153, and so far nothing has happened. So yeah, like I said, I will read the third one in this series. I didn't carry on with this. I've only read Flawless so far, so that's like a whole chunk that I do need to read. I haven't read these two, Holding the Reins and Training the Heart. I think that's the first and second in that series. I got them from the works because sprayed edges, I mean, how can you not? And obviously looking at the front, it's giving cowboy romance. So yeah, they're on my to read list. I finished Daydream last year. Obviously I've read Wildfire, Icebreaker. The Next Best Fling, I haven't read this. Love on the Brain, I haven't read. The Striker, this was a birthday present from Alex. Thank you so much. I really love that. And yeah, I've read all these, the Twisted series. I'm currently reading Next of Kin. This one's the second one, Next to You, as well as Onyx Storm. At the minute, I'm kind of like, this is like my easy read. Alongside, obviously, Hannah Bonam-Young again, but Out on a Limb, I read that. 5-star, I loved this book. obviously I've read these. I've not read Lost in Lassoed. My mum's got the other copy, the Swift and Saddled, so she's reading that, but I do have that. But I ended up with 2 copies of Lost in Lassoed for my birthday. So that's another one that I need to read. And to be honest, I might do this one next, because I might be able to fit it in before the 3rd one of this comes out. And yeah, here are my Magnolia Parks. Obviously Daisy Haites you've just seen, I've just had that. These, oh god, I really didn't enjoy the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I honestly thought it was quite boring. So this series, I might give it away to somebody that wants it. These 2, I haven't read yet. I read this, didn't really enjoy it. Don't think I like Emily Henry, but you know, this was a birthday present. I think this is going to be the only other fantasy read that I read this year. It was bought for me as a birthday present because I saw really good reviews on it and I really, really wanted to read it. So this is going to be probably the only other fantasy read. If I push it to these again, I think, I will be on this book if I carry on. But whether I will or not, I'm not sure. And yeah, I've not finished Legend, I finished Legendborn, but I've not finished Bloodmarked. Not read the Cruel Prince series, and obviously they're the 4th week. So yeah, that's my plan for this year. Sorry if I spoke really quickly then, but I just wanted to give you a kind of overview, a kind of plan of what I am gonna plan to do this year, I guess. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. So a couple of days have passed since my last update that you just saw, and in that time I have read a bit more, well, I say a bit more, a lot more of Next of Kin. Now the day after the part of the video that you've just seen, I ended up reading up to 66%. So I literally just started the book, I think I was on like chapter 3 in the first instance, and then I got up to 66% in one evening. Now I literally sat and read there for I think 4 hours or something. It was so worth it. Like, my husband was asleep on the couch next to me, so he was tired from work, so I basically sneakily put an ambiance YouTube video on and just sat there and I just read and I just thoroughly enjoyed myself. I don't know what it is about Hannah Bonam-Young, but I'm kind of obsessed with her little cute romances. Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself, so let me get into a bit more of this book. So the main kind of premise of this book, it follows a girl called Chloe, and she has been through the system. Her mum had to give her up to the, I assume, foster care system, adoption system, in which she did find adoptive parents, which it does explain in the book. And it just turns out that her birth mother ends up having another baby, and they obviously want to place her, Chloe with the new baby, with her new little sister, I guess. Otherwise, she will go into the system, go into the courts, foster care. And I know Chloe feels kind of not pushed, but obviously she wants to look after her baby sister, but that kind of isn't the, I guess, plan that she had for her life and how it was going to look. So the lady, I want to say CPS, but I guess it might not be CPS, but they basically need to prove that she has the ability to look after this newborn baby. And at the moment, she's working a full-time job, she has her own place, she has the space for a baby, but maybe not the finances or the time. The institution, the CPS, whatever it is in this book, they basically set out a new kind of system which helps other adoptive foster adults, I guess you could say, kind of band together, in which then their other siblings can come and live with them. So Chloe's situation turns out to be that there is this guy, enter Warren, and he also needs a place to stay. But Chloe has the 3-bedroom, I think it is, 3-bedroom apartment that she's paying for currently. And this guy called Warren also needs a place to stay because he wants to have custody of his little brother. And I say little brother, his brother is a teenager, I think. He needs somewhere for them both to live. So it's kind of like an act of convenience, a place for them all to go, for it to be convenient for everybody, and they can help each other out, as would make sense, I guess. And you know, it does say, like Chloe says in the book, like, I'm gonna have some strange man living with me. I'm not sure that that's appropriate. Like, I literally have never met this man, and then him and his younger brother are gonna move into my apartment. So Warren is a mechanic, and obviously he wants custody of his little brother. On the first day, he's late to come and view the apartment. So this is like before they've even moved in. And he comes to view it, and he's late, and he parks right outside, and she runs out like, you can't park there, you know, there's designated like parking areas, and he just like rolls it up on the curb, I assume, and she's like, you can't park there. And she calls him, I think she calls him like Vin Diesel or something, because he's bald in it. You can probably see from the, like, I guess kind of like tough guy, kind of looks like, you know, few scars, like kind of bald, like, or like skinhead, you know, that type of look. So she calls him Vin Diesel, and at the time he was like aggy about it, but afterwards, throughout the book, where I'm at now, I won't spoil it because it is worth reading, because he is the love interest in this. Not really a spoiler when, I mean, you can see it on the front. People don't read books thinking that they're gonna hate each other. Well, I mean, I've not even finished yet, so as he is the love interest in the book, it's funny to see how similar they are, and he thinks she's had adoptive parents who have just kind of like given her everything and like super easy, and like she's had a kind of perfect family. I mean, I don't even know what that is, that's not a thing, but you know, he thinks she's had it super easy. He thinks she's stuck up. She thinks he's a bit of a douche. He's not even trying to help her out. He wanted to separate everything at the start, wouldn't even help her out with her new baby sister for 10 seconds, wouldn't share food in the house and everything. But the brother, his younger brother, does really like her. So there is a bit of like back and forth between them all. So honestly, so far, like I said, I'm on 88%, I think. Currently, I'll put it up on the screen. But I don't know what it is. I'm just obsessed with Hannah Bonam-Young. Like, I've not even wanted to carry on reading Onyx Storm or even listening to Onyx Storm. Like, this book has just like consumed my every thought. I get like excited to read this again. And I know some people might think it like, oh god, it's super basic, like, and yeah, it probably is. For me to sit and read for 4 hours in one evening, like, I think it was like that much, like less. So like, for me to sit and read all of that in one evening, that means I really have found this book interesting. And obviously, you know from me reading previously Out on a Limb, which you've just seen me point out on the bookshelf, this is the same author, and I rated Out on a Limb 5 stars. So at the minute, this is heading towards a 5-star read. Oops, I like it. Also, at the time I got it from the works, they've probably still got it in there if anybody's interested. They have number 1 and 2, the sequel, I think, was it £2.50 each? I mean, can you believe it? It's basically free. So head yourself down to the works, UK people, and purchase yourself this book, because at the minute I'm thriving. Hannah Bonam-Young is a genius. Whatever she puts, whatever she sprinkles in this book, I'm just eating it up because I'm obsessed. And I'm trying not to make that my favourite word of 2025 like it was in 2024, but this book deserves it. And at the minute, 88% through, this for me is a 5-star read currently. So I'll let you know when I get to the end and finish it. Also, I will keep you updated on Onyx Storm, but at the minute, I've not read anything further. Sorry guys. And I finished Next of Kin. I finished it, and yeah, I mean, it lived up to the hype, but I did rate it only 4 stars, not 5, only because I did feel like the ending was slightly rushed. Yeah, so I thought the book kind of ended abruptly, and it had like one epilogue one bonus epilogue and then a prologue, but I was a bit annoyed about when I thought I'd finished the book, and then actually the way that Hannah Bonam-Young brought it to a conclusion at the end of the book I thought was quite like swift, without spoiling too much, but maybe a slight spoiler. Chloe went to go find Warren, and they kind of she went to go find him, she found him, they had a chat, it ended. I was like, oh, okay, so we don't get to hear more about like the brother and the situation that happened before. We don't get any other details. We just get like, it just ends. And then it says like epilogue and then bonus epilogue. And I was just like, sometimes I don't want to, like, I thought I was done. However, actually the majority of the book was really good. And I will read the sequel. So I am excited to read the second one. But yeah, 4 stars. I mean, I think that's pretty much still a great rating, like in my eyes anyway, of my like rating system. You know, I would say 3 stars is like meh, like neither here nor there. But to me, 4 stars, better than average, but not quite as good as Out on a Limb, I would say. I still do prefer Out on a Limb, but this story is like a close second. I do really like it. So yeah, I'm definitely a Hannah Bonam-Young supporter because I really enjoyed this book. So next on my list, I guess, I'm still reading Onyx Storm. Haven't carried on with that all week, but yeah, at least I finished one during this video. So Next of Kin, I loved it so much. 4 stars. Oh, and as I was shopping through Amazon, kind of looking at different books, not obviously just book shopping, through Amazon, I came across this cover of this book and I was like, I need to have this. I'll show you one here, but then I'll put a picture up. It's that one in the middle called Fight. Look at that man. Like, why would I not? I've just like added this to my TBR like folder in my downloads, but why would I not read that? I'll have to see how many pages it is. Just give me a second. It's worth it just for that cover. And I think there's like three books within the series from what I saw. So obviously, I mean, it was like £3 something. And I was like, obviously I have to download this. Crazy not to. But yeah, it's only 379 pages. And I did read on, well, from Google, that the average book is 300 pages. So it's over average in many ways, shape or form, I hope. Yeah, I might read that because I was actually excited just by the cover. So that could be my next one. Also this Wolfie one that's next to it, I guess that's how you say it, Wolfie. The one that's next to it. I saw people talking about a bit of apparently the explicit scenes in there are really good. So that's also on my definite TBR. I do really have to pick a good book to especially like match this now. Like this was a good book and I liked the romance aspects in this. So my next book will have to at least match this in what I think. Obviously I'll only find that out once I've read it, but I'll be annoyed if it's not a 4 or 5 star read for my next read because Onyx Storm is taking me a while. Put this back on my shelf now. My books are getting all a bit squished, but yeah, another one bites the dust. So it's just Next to You that's next in the series. But thank you as always for watching me. I really appreciate all the views. So please subscribe to my channel if you like what you're seeing, and you'll get to see what I read next. But yeah, love you lots. See you later. Bye.